Hello, everyone. It's been a while. Work has been quite demanding for the past couple of months, but we are back. And today we will present a software that has been around for a couple of years. In IT, you have a lot of monitoring tools. Some of them are built in with the devices that you buy, while others are within a web UI for switches, modems, so on and so forth. And for each individual device, you have to go to its own dashboard. Now, the software that we will be looking at today, Zabbix, will have one dashboard that will allow you to monitor everything from your network switches to your CPU and RAM performance down to individual clients. Why is this important? You might ask, is because instead of having 10, 20 tabs with different UIs to monitor network traffic, to monitor client performance, and maybe applications, that will take considerable resources from your own device. You will have to juggle between multiple tabs, and that can be annoying when you try to spot a particular, let's say, event or incident. But with no further ado, let's get into it. So we are talking about Zabbix. It's an open source project. Of course, it does have its cloud um, counterpart, where you can pay a premium for support, but you can use it and deploy it either on your VMs, virtual machines, or either on the cloud. You can also do it on your home lab. We will have a look at the backend or front end where everything ties together, and then we will be using two VMs where we will deploy the clients so we can monitor stats from different clients. That being said, the software itself has been around for over 2 decades and it has constantly being updated. Like I believe the last update of 7.2 was a couple of days ago. But with that out of the way, you can see it has integration with pretty much everything. It has its own built-in templates, Cisco switches, Amazon. You can scroll down and look at all the various categories. You have search engines, printers, whatever you need, name it, and you will probably find it here. But if you don't find it here, um, it will probably be added later on because the community is so awesome that the updates keep on rolling like there is no tomorrow. I'm quite excited to try this out, and we will probably start with installing first the server. We scroll down, let's see, download. Under download, we will go for packages. You have other options here. We will get to Zabbix Edge agents when we will start deploying it to get and pull some data from the other two VMs. But right now, we have to choose our platform. So the latest version of Zabbix is 7.2. OS distribution, we go for Ubuntu because we have a Ubuntu. It's one of the VMs that we deployed back in the day when we started this home lab series. Our terminal here, and we will have to follow with the installation and configuration. Obviously, I have Ubuntu 24.04. The front end, we're gonna need MySQL, and we're gonna use Apache for web server. So pretty much everything is down here. We'll start with copy pasting the commands. Okay, so we will first have to install the repository. So we'll copy the first line. Okay, next step is to copy the next command for MySQL. So with MySQL done, we will have to create a database, and we will start with the first command. You just have to be more attentive with the copy paste because I'm doing typos. Okay, and that's done. Next, we will type quit, and we're done with this part. Okay, next step is to inject the Zabbix MySQL structure. So copy the next command. Let's try this again. I think I get a copy paste error, but I'm gonna do it again. And the reason we are in here is to show you that you can change the time zone if you need to. Next in line is to reset the server. So it's a simple command. Now, obviously, we have to re-enable it. So we copy paste second command. And let's see if that worked. I'm gonna do a systemctl status patch. All right, so next we're done. We'll have to go to the default URL for Zabbix UI, and that will be 127.0.0.1 slash Zabbix. Some inputs already detects my time zone. Yes, password. We can click finish. A small mistake that will cost you a little bit of time to investigate. If you remember, we tried to connect to 127.0.0.1, but in actuality, since we are running a VM and we have an IP assigned, this one is no longer valid. So we need the one that actually works. So this is the IP that we will use. So if we are going here, we will be greeted to a login page. Now the username will not be Zabbix, will not be anything else. It's actually going to be admin with capital A, and the password will be Zabbix because my bad, I skipped the phase when we install in the browser and I didn't pay attention to the assigned password. So the password that we set previously, it's for the Zabbix database in the CLI, and the other one is for the MySQL. So that being said, if you get greeted with this page, simply put admin and put Zabbix as password or lowercase, and that should get you into the dashboard. Okay, so let's have a look at what we're dealing with. We are interested in data collection, so under data collection hosts, and we will have our Zabbix server, which is the main server, the back end or front end. We have the items, we have triggers, we have graphs. So let's have a look at triggers. There's a lot of templates that you can use, but every trigger will show you what type of data it's pulling. So you can see here warning with the problem, mounted files, yada yada yada, a bunch of information that can be useful when it comes down to troubleshoot. Um, if we go back to hosts and let's say we go on graphs, it will show us exactly what is monitoring. We can see all the details. And if we go a little bit on the right hand side, we see the status that it's enable availability, agent encryption none, because we're not doing any encryption at the moment. We are in a VM space, so it's for testing purposes. But if we go to monitoring and we click on hosts, we can see the interface. And if we click on the graphs here, we will be able to see a bunch of data. Since it's running for a couple of minutes, we do have here the space used that it's allocated. We can see how much is free, what is the total, information like interface network traffic, very important, CPU jumps, usage, like a lot of information that you can use to troubleshoot. Now, since this is on our server, obviously we need to think of a way. Well, actually, there is a way, but you will be using this to monitor other agents. And to do that, we will go back to reports. No, not reports. Where was it? Data collection. We will go to hosts, and on top we will have here a create host. So we can create host. Let's say no, VM. Can select the templates from here. So let's say Windows. Nothing found. Um, right. So we click on templates. Let's see what we have. Databases, network, operating system. So this is pretty much what we want. So it's an operating system. Windows. It's gonna be agent, and here we need an IP address of that agent. So let's go into one of the VMs. This is the Windows server, if you remember. CMT config, and our IP is 192.168.262. I'm gonna put this here. Okay, so the port can stay the same, and we click add. Cannot add host. So maybe this doesn't need to be here. Yep. Okay. So we skip that phase. And right now we are waiting for it to become available. It will take a little bit of time, but it will come. Okay, so with that done, we need to go back to our VM and install the agent. So go to, for Windows, obviously you have to go the web browser, and we go Zabbix agent, scroll down, Windows version any, yes, version MSI. So right now, let's continue. I accept. Yeah. Okay, so we can change the name here to Windows Server. Now the IP address is the IP address of our server. So it's going to be 192.168.2.45. Okay. And for the proxy for active checks is going to be usually is the same. We will try it out. Add agent location to the path. The port stays the same because we haven't changed that. If we go back here and we check the ports, we see it's 10,050. So that will stay the same. Click next, install, finish. So right now we have Zabbix agent running on our Windows server. And if we go back to our Zabbix server, click refresh, we will have to wait a little bit for the data to get pulled. Actually, there is one more thing we have to do. When we launched this before, that's why it's not a good idea to add the host before you have the client installed on the other side. So remember when we choose the template, we had an error. Right now, if we choose the template and we type in Windows, and we will choose by Zabbix agent, this can stay as it is. The IP is the same, we haven't changed it. We will click update. And as you can see, we're already starting to pull data from our Windows machine. Right now, we still need to wait a little bit for this to come available, but it is enabled and might be able to see a little bit of graphs. So let's see, what do we see? We see CPU jumps, not enough data for now because just been deployed. So let's give it a second. Okay, so you had a little bit of time to pull some data. It's available. Items, triggers, graphs, discovery, yada, yada, yada. So why is it important? If we go to monitoring, we go to hosts and we pull out graphs, hit apply. We'll start to get the graphs populated a little bit by bit. And we already know the space utilization. We will be able to get more data as the service runs itself. So going back to reports, data collection, templates, you will be able to filter out all the templates that you need. You don't have to do it manually. You can go to the client itself and inventory. You can add the type, the full details. Usually what the best practice might be is to create to adopt all the templates on your server and then tweak some little changes here and there and be able to pretty much do whatever data you want to collect. So if we go to triggers, we already see that we have uh, some data we can get from the services themselves. And later on, we will be able to pull even more data that will help us filter out. Like I said, it's down to what you're looking for. To make things quicker, obviously, you can click on items and you can scroll a little bit down. Here it's what we already filtered and we are pulling out. But if you want to see the data faster, you can select everything from here. You scroll all the way down. You can click execute now. Request sent successfully. So if we go back to the host, we'll be able to see more items and more graphs. And hopefully we might be able to see more populated graphs here. Let's see. Today, as you can see, slowly we're starting to pull the data. We'll show you disk utilization, the usual stuff, pretty much network. And the same way you will be able to add your switches for network monitoring. So if you go to hosts, you can pretty much add a switch. So you can create host, you can put the name switch, visible name, templates. Let's see if it finds one. So here on the templates, obviously we have just a few selection, but if we go to host, let's see generic, and you can click add, and you will have to select SNMP. You'll need to know the switch's IP. You will add the switch IP, and then you're gonna have to. I believe this is the, yeah, this is the default, and then you will have to click add. I'm not gonna do that because I don't have a switch with me. I do have a unmanaged splitter which acts like a switch, but it doesn't have its own IP, and I will not be able to showcase this one. Maybe in a future video we can play around with the switch. But that being said, you can pretty much add anything and everything you want to monitor. It will be an amazing tool for those who are starting in IT or those who are in IT and want to be able to monitor everything from a single dashboard. And it's free, it's open source. This is not a sponsored video, obviously, but like I said, it is a very good tool to have and utilize. Now, that being said, I think this is all for today's video. Please leave a comment, a like if you like the video, dislike if you dislike the video, and hope to see you all next time.